where you are. But what about indoors? And how did this idea actually become a business? Well, we have a specialist. He also goes by the name of Oz, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Oliver Zechlin. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. From idea to business. So what did happen at Siemens for indoor positioning to become an actual business? It started with an idea. And hey, Chris, I see you have an apple there. Enjoy. It keeps the doctor away. But you know, your apple is totally different from an idea. If you have your apple and I have an apple, and if we exchange apples, we still have one apple each. Ideas, however, are totally different. If you have an idea and I have an idea, and if we exchange ideas, both of us have now two ideas. They procreate, they multiply. They are very special, they are precious. So how do we go about at Siemens about ideas? There's plenty of events and possibilities to generate ideas, to talk about ideas, to have them multiplied. At one of these events, the Shark Tank, I presented the topic of indoor positioning and about its possibility of becoming a business opportunity for Siemens. I won this event, and I was provided with the opportunity, the resources, the money, the time to go after it and look whether this idea could become innovation in business, whether it would fit to Siemens in building technology. Now, in our No Regret Roof project, if you have this idea and you would like to have it in innovation, this is how the textbook innovation process looks like. It's very linear, A, B, C, D. If you don't pass a stage gate, sorry, you're out. This is old school. This is Industry 2.0. Our innovation was our digital innovation. It's an industry or a building 4.0 innovation. And we need to have a different approach there. We had to be much more agile, flexible. Yes, it was creative and chaotic at times. We had to go out there and talk to our sales guys, to our stakeholders, to our commercial guys. And every time we came back and we changed a little bit. It was all fluent. But in the end, we were rewarded, and this idea became innovation, and it became actually a business. We launched a service around indoor positioning. So how did everything start out? You might recall, the scene. Driving, especially as a co-pilot, back before GPS, was no fun. Poor mom. She had to read the map and convince your dad to drive as she said. That was stressful. Then everything changed. The US Americans, they launched their global positioning satellite system, and they provided us with a great piece of infrastructure for free. And everything changed. Not just driving, which became less stressful. No, it changed the way we do business. It enabled new businesses. It enabled new streamlined processes. It changed everything. What would we do if they would shut down GPS or similar services? That would be really tragic nowadays. Now, it's a great service, GPS. However, we spend 90% of our times indoors. This is now where everything is happening, where we spend time with our friends, where we eat, where we shop, where we spend money and do business. 90% of our time. And there, GPS just doesn't work. So what is the solution? How get we GPS functionality inside of a building? That was like the question I asked myself. And I looked up in our office and I saw these things. These are Siemens Syntheso smoke detectors. And they are up high on the ceiling, just like a GPS satellite is up in space. So why not use this infrastructure? And they are in millions of rooms out there in the world, and have them do double duty and act as a GPS kind of satellite. So that was the basic idea. And how does it actually work? Well, this satellite thingy on the on the ceiling, the smoke detector. It sends down an ID number. That's all it does. It sends down, I'm number one, I'm number one, I'm number one. It does it all day, all night, all year, like every half second. The next smoke detector in the next room, I'm number two, I'm number two, I'm number two. That's all they do. And you use your smartphone, and they pick up the signal. They look up in a database, what does it mean, number one and number two? And then they know where they are, where you are. And once you have this position, it opens up a whole new world of business and a whole new world of opportunities. These are examples of what you can do with indoor positioning inside of a facility. We are just scraping on the surface here. If you talk to your colleagues and talk about the possibilities, you will come up with much, much more ideas. Of course, you have navigation, but you can use it for much, much more. Like, for example, to control the room you're in, to adjust the comfort features, or use it as an access device. It can also aid you if there's an emergency. There's so much more to it. It's not just navigation. This is an actual example from our headquarter office in Switzerland. We now switched to an open office concept. No more fixed desk, no more fixed room. Today I'm working on the first floor, tomorrow on the fourth floor. And if there's a colleague who tries to find me, he just pings me, I get his invitation, I open up for a few minutes my position to him. And then he can use his app to find me. That's very convenient. Now, this is still like a Google Maps kind of thingy. We have now this great infrastructure in place, all these GPS kind of satellites in the room. What did Google do after they had Google Maps in place? They went the second step. And they sent around the Google cars, taking pictures of the outside. Now, getting a car inside, it's a bit of a problem, but we found a solution. We found this great partner in Munich, a startup called Navis, and they have this Star Wars looking like a scanning trolley. It uses laser scanners, cameras, all kinds of sensors. And you slowly push it around inside your building. It generates great pictures, just like Google Street View does, and much more information. If it's being processed, it looks like this. It's just like Google Street View in the inside. You have the visual indoors. In this example, on this construction site, we have three stakeholders. We have the builder, the planner, the architect, and they all sit in different places around town. They don't have to drive there. They just open up their browser and they look around. They move around the construction site, and then they can collaborate and fix things that needs to be fixed. It's very convenient. You can augment the whole inside of the building. Again, construction site. If you use the scanning trolley and you scan it like every 4 weeks, you get this great time sliding animation, and you can see what has happened in between. This makes for great documentation. It's really also super helpful for your technicians. If they go there and they have to, let's say, drill a hole somewhere, of course they have their paper plan, but does the plan actually, is it the same as what the builders did? Is the wires, are they really running that way as the plan says? No, they just have to slide back and see behind the plaster, behind the wallpaper, behind everything, and they see how the wires and plumbing is actually running. Let's imagine you have a factory and there is a piece of equipment that's defective. You call the service guy. He comes to your reception. He gets handed over an iPad with this cool app. And this app, this navigation app, he guides him to the job site. And he doesn't have to wander around. It's much, much faster, and it's much safer for him. You know, he doesn't accidentally wander off into areas which are potentially dangerous to him. And once he gets there, he can get information on the defective device. Every pixel you see there has a coordinate to it, has a position to it. So he doesn't have to read strange descriptions. Okay, it's the one defective device which sits to the next one, and it is behind this green pipe next to this other one, and he doesn't know which one to fix. No, now he gets an actually coordinate, a position, and he knows which it is that needs to be fixed. And once he has done his job, no more paperwork for him. He taps on his iPad, and he enters his service information, what he has done. Off it goes to the invoicing system. Much, much easier. So if you have this great view of your indoors, if you have this digital twin of the inside, you can see everything, and you can augment every object. In this instance, you see this CNC machine. You click on the CNC machine on your computer inside your browser, you get all the information that you would like to have. And currently, you most likely have to open up some really icky-looking Java runtime environment, database kind of thingy that you really don't want to touch. And it's not a great way to interact with things. This way of just looking around and clicking on the real things, it's a much more natural way of interacting with the environment. And it's not just getting information, you can also start actions. Let's say you want to start a presentation inside of your conference room, and the blinds are still open. Damn. So you just click on the window, and voila, the building management system knows you would like to close the shutters, and so it does. And all within your browser, without having to have some strange-looking app. It's all natural, it's all human. Just use the browser to work with the environment. To sum it up, it's about location, location, location. Be it outside with GPS, or be it inside, like with indoor positioning. Think about the opportunities you have in your business once every object in your location has a coordinate. And once you know how you can use your assets and your employees in a much more efficient way. It's a totally new way of doing business. And nobody thought about these kinds of opportunities when GPS was launched. No, it was about navigation. But it opened up, and now there's so much more we can do. And we can duplicate it to the inside of a building as well. So think about your business and the opportunities of indoor positioning. Thank you.
That was Oliver Zechlin, also known as Oz. Thank you very much. And yeah, just hand on the presenter to our next expert.